Don't leave me hanging. It's go time.
Hey everybody, this is Josh and welcome to Game 3 in a best of 3 series, meaning this game is for all the marbles. It is being played between alternate attacks Socke or Socke. He is the German Protoss player. He's the light blue one up here in the top right of Shakuras Plateau. I'm not sure if he actually picked this map because he did just lose there on Scrap Station, or if it's a predetermined map, but either way, he will be playing against Mr. Mao's MorroW. The alliteration there is phenomenal, or I should say it's magical? Magical. So it's magical alliteration with Mr. Mao's MorroW, and he is the green Zerg up here on the top left corner. So they are at land bridge positions, close top hemisphere, hemispheric. Yes, they're at hemispheric positions rather than cross positions, and those are the only two possible outcomes there are. So, you know, coin flip. Here they are on Shakuras Plateau, right across from each other, and Socke is actually going to scout that first, so he knows if he needs to place pylons by his back rocks right away or not. And MorroW, on the other hand, sending his Overlord, of course. No need to actually pull a drone off of mining when you can just send your Overlord, your mobile supply unit, all the way across the map there and figure out where he is eventually anyway. No decisions that MorroW makes will be based on what position MorroW finds Socke in anyway, as either cross positions or land bridge positions both offer quite a bit of time to actually get things ready here. MorroW could expand quickly, but since we've already seen him drop a spawning pool and that Vespene gas extractor already, makes me think he is going to go a little bit more aggressive once again. And actually both games so far against Socke, he has gone spawning pool first. He's been very slow to build up a hatchery. Looks like Socke is going to try and deny a hatchery regardless with this dancing probe, and he is going to do a gateway expand rather than a forge fast expand. So building down here on the low ground has been commended by many a player so far since Shakuras Plateau has joined the map pool and many tournament map pools, because if you build your stuff up here and you're planning on expanding anyway, you're really doing yourself a disservice because you're leaving this ramp wide open. Scrap Station, we saw Socke do something similar, but it was with a forge where he built all his stuff between his two bases. Of course, you want your front line to be in front of an expansion that you plan to have very shortly into the game anyway, so that players can't just kill your natural over and over and over and contain you to just one mining base. So MorroW, on the other hand, just getting some Zerglings up to get this probe away from his hatchery area. He's not even planning on building a hatch until this probe is out of dodge anyway, so these Zerglings are going to come out now. Socke needs to get his probe out of there if he wants to survive. At this rate, he is not going to be able to do that, and he will go down with one more Zergling hit. Kaboom! There goes the probe. So MorroW dropping his hatchery at the time he wanted to anyway. The probe did not make a difference there. He planned that out. He knew Socke was going to try and be annoying with that probe, so he is ahead of the game, getting hatchery number 2 there and just droning up now, getting Zergling speed research as quickly as possible, and now over at Socke's base, not expanding just yet. I imagine he will want to drop at least one more gateway before he takes that Nexus so he doesn't fall too far behind Mr. MorroW. On Lost Temple, we saw him keeping up pretty well, about 90 seconds behind, so not surprising there that he wants to go ahead and secure this expansion with this gateway and Cybernetics Core sort of wall off with the Zealot holding position in the middle, and once again we do see a sentry here available to drop force fields like we saw in Lost Temple. So also, this sentry here prevents Zerglings from trying to bait the Zealot. Zerglings could just wail away on this gateway and try and get the Zealot to move away so he doesn't lose the gateway. But when you have a ranged unit like this sentry, that wards them off pretty well, since it actually kills them. Eventually, sentries don't do a ton of damage, but they obviously do enough damage to kill Zerglings that can't hit back. So Nexus finally dropped here for Socke. The hatchery for MorroW hasn't even finished yet, so the time is just great there. He's about 85 in-game seconds behind, not too bad at all. He's obviously still creating probes one at a time, and he's got a little bit of dead space right here, but he is busy throwing up another pylon right now. So I'm not sure why he's not building probe right away. He has the supply, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. 28 harvesters for MorroW so far, 25 for Socke, and MorroW is expanding once again. He's taken base number 3 right from under Socke's nose. He has no idea that this is going on. Socke does have, actually no, Socke does not have map control. MorroW has map control. He's got map vision at least with these 2 speedlings controlling the 2 Xel'Naga towers. And back in MorroW's base, not doing anything too crazy, just drones and hatcheries, macro tools all the way. Evolution Chamber coming up here. No Roach Warren yet. This is the first game that MorroW hasn't invested in roaches quite early. Lair might be his next gas expenditure. We'll have to see. Evolution Chamber is coming up now, though, so maybe we'll see some upgrades start to roll from there. Socke has enough units now where he can kind of push out of his base. He's got 4 sentries tagging along. We saw this sort of composition on Lost Temple as well as he geared up toward Colossi, but this time he's going to be doing things a little bit differently. Getting that Stargate up, looking for some Phoenixes most likely. No, it's a Void Ray, so Socke surprising me not getting mass Phoenixes. This would be a perfect time to do it, unfortunately for Socke. He doesn't know this, but there is no lair just yet. Actually, now there's a lair, of course. They were talking about pausing. I didn't think MorroW would build a lair while they were talking about pausing, but anyway, I was going to say there's no anti-air even here except for the single queen, which of course 2 or 3 Phoenixes would be able to handle with ease with that Graviton beam. Instead, Socke is going to get some Void Rays out first, probably build one at a time for a short while. He's only got 1 Warp Gate here, but he does have a Forge completed as well, so he can try to get some upgrades rolling eventually, plus 1 ranged weapons being researched for MorroW back at his base, and the Roach Warren is about to complete, so he's actually getting upgrades before he even has units available for those upgrades. Hatch number 3 is completed now. Income tab, we take a look at the harvester count. MorroW is up by 7. We see him transfer a couple of drones already, and it looks like he is well on his way to that 80+ drone count that we saw on Lost Temple when he was on 4 bases. He's already on 3 here, quite early into this game. Socke, what are you doing back at home? Void Ray number 1 is already complete, headed to that 3rd base. Did Socke know about it? He did not. He's just checking on it because that's game sense, you know? You don't want your Zerg opponent to take every single expansion on the map. So Void Ray shows up here, going to start working on that hatch. Now he's going to be able to kill this queen off. A queen by himself cannot kill a Void Ray. He can just get rid of the shields. So this Void Ray continuing to build charge now. Now it's at full, starting to back off now, but the Spore Crawler is nearly done here. Did MorroW know about that Stargate, or did he just see that Void Ray and start building it instantly? I actually missed it. I'm going to take MorroW's vision right now, though, and see if he saw the Stargate. No, he didn't, so I'm wondering, oh, it must have been these Zerglings at the Zelnaga Tower that spotted the Void Ray. But anyway, Void Ray number 2 showing up to help his partner in crime here. It's already got 2 kills, 2 little drone kills, or possibly Zergling kills. I'm not sure which. I don't know how I missed that. But Void Rays both here, going to be able to kill off this queen incredibly quickly. Probably just going to ignore the Spore Crawler. I don't imagine him actually moving in range of that. Queen number 2 showing up for MorroW, so transfusion is going to be possible. Actually, neither of them has enough energy for a transfusion. Surprise, Socke going for that brand new queen rather than the one that was already injured. Maybe a little bit of a misstep there. Void Ray number 1 taking even more damage. MorroW actually did focus the one with less shields, so that's just a tiny little difference that actually could have made a big difference later on. However, Socke is just pulling away now, so not really going to make a difference at all, as those shields will come back. Hydralisk going down quite quickly. MorroW still focusing on the one with less health. Of course, you want to be able to do that so you can kill it even faster. Phoenix in here lifting up that drone that absolutely did not need to be lifted. That was kind of just a preemptive mistake there from Socke. He really should have waited for a Hydralisk or something to be able to pick that up, as it costs the same amount of energy to lift a drone that was going to die anyway than it does a Hydralisk that can actually fight back. So interesting, just tiny little mistakes here for Socke so far. Could end up piling up. We'll see what happens. Extractors number 5 and 6 coming up for MorroW. Let's look at the income tab once again just to see what's going on. Overseer for MorroW headed in here. Going to see 2 robotics facilities furiously being chrono boosted here, and extended thermal lances being researched from this robotic bay. But anyway, back at the harvester count that I was going to look at a second ago, 66, 67-ish for MorroW, 60 for Socke off of just 2 bases. He will want to expand again so he can keep his income on par. MorroW's mineral income way ahead, gas income going to be way ahead now as well with those additional extractors. And check this out, MorroW actually expanding once again. He'll be on 4 bases before Socke is even on 3. That's going to be a huge advantage there. Couple of Void Rays moving into the main now. There is already a Spore Crawler here. There is a Queen available as well. The Spore Crawler shoots so fast, Socke definitely does not want to lose a Void Ray here when he doesn't have to. There are Hydralisks being made. Range is already completed. Spore Crawler's in the line. Queen's there as well. He's trying to gun down this Roach Warren. I don't know if he's going to be able to get it before these Hydras come in here and start shooting their little grooved spines. And Socke, I really would just get your Void Rays out of there now before you lose one, but it is too late. Loses a Void Ray. Just another small misstep. I'm not sure really what's going on with Socke. He's usually extremely solid, and this game so far are just compounding mistakes. Lots of sentries and Colossi starting to move through the middle of the map now, and it looks like Socke wants to fortify this position here between the 2 bases on the land bridge, the Aleutian Peninsula. But this Overlord kill going to be quite nice. Obviously, MorroW's going to have to rebuild that. Of course, he's way ahead on Overlords. MorroW not the kind of player that will let a single Overlord death supply block him. MorroW should know that this is happening right now. I'm going to take his vision. Actually, he's not in range of that destructible rock, but this Roach now does come over and see this, so he's going to have all his units already here. These Colossi are going to rip these Hydralisks to shreds with their 1-0 upgrades against just 1-0 as well, but the Corruptor's already coming out for MorroW. He knew these Colossi were on their way just based off of what he saw, and Corruptors do well against Void Rays and Phoenixes anyway. So MorroW choosing correct tech decision here. He's just unable to get that Spore Crawler down. Socke is unable to, anyway. All these Corruptors here are going to be able to take out this Void Ray first of all, and then they're going to start focusing the Colossi. They actually should have continued attacking there, at least for a couple of seconds, as now a ton of Stalkers are going to be here, and they're not going to get another opportunity like that. 4 Colossi here. Force Field's going down on the ramp, so Socke actually nabs a few kills there before backing off, and he's lost more in resources, but his army value is actually still inferior to MorroW if you add up both of those, and the army count, just supply count total, 184 to 137. Socke is having troubles here, but with some nice force fields, he will be able to score some Hydralisk kills with these Colossi. Corruptors dropping corruption on pretty much everything they can, and these Colossi taking a lot of hits. Stalkers quickly getting those Corruptors down, though. An Extractor goes down, the Spore Crawler goes down. Stalkers need to get out of there. There is enough energy for force fields, so Socke once again going to rack up some Roach and Hydralisk kills. These Corruptors are unable to come in here and do the damage that they want to do against these Colossi with all these Stalkers underfoot. MorroW looking in pretty rough shape right now, but he does have an extremely large force here. He will be able to kill this if Socke ever runs out of energy for force fields, or if Socke sort of does a positioning error with his Colossi, gets them too far out in front or something like that. It could go very well for MorroW. 1-0 upgrade still for Socke, a 1-0 upgrade still for MorroW. Drones starting to come under fire now, but if you look at the Harvester count, Socke has actually taken a lead here, and this might be the mistake that MorroW is waiting for. MorroW moves his entire force up into the main of MorroW, so he sends all his 100 Roaches over here on the right side, Corruptors on the left side. The Corruptors are going to live long enough to actually kill both of these Colossi, and now it is just Stalkers and Immortals against Roach Hydra. However, Socke's army does seem to be superior right now. Just in army value, we see that it is, and supply count still favoring MorroW. All these Corruptors in the air right now are essentially useless. All they can do is spam Corrupt. That is a lot of food tied up in Corruptors that can't hit anything. That, of course, is the big problem with Corruptors. You basically have to kill them off once all the Colossi are dead so you can free up supply for Roaches and Hydras, but MorroW, reinforcing very quickly from all 4 of his hatcheries, has enough Roaches and Hydralisks to chase Socke back into his third base. There are a lot of Stalkers still alive here, and another Colossus showing up. A couple of Photon Cannons being dropped right as MorroW starts to advance there, so he is going to not be able to come in there and kill off this Nexus. However, he does have that superior army count still, and now 1 Colossus being built for Socke. Gotta say that's a bad decision here, as all these Corruptors can just move in, take out this Colossus, and back off. Even if MorroW loses a couple of Corruptors, it doesn't matter that much because they're not doing anything else after the Colossus is dead anyway. So MorroW really could just suicide right in there, take out the Colossus, and then have the Roach and Hydra force down on the bottom, clean up the rest of the Stalkers. He could lose Corruptors. It won't matter that much, but he is still going to continue reinforcing here with an Immortal. 2 Immortals coming out of those robotics facilities. No Colossi. Obviously, you saw that cloud of Corruptors, and wants MorroW to continue wasting supply with that. It's just a delicate balance. It's weird when you have a unit that only counters one other unit, and Socke can really just build another incredible unit out of the same production structures here, with the Immortal being able to blast down those Roaches extremely quickly. So Roaches and Hydra still sitting at 1-0. His Evolution Chamber here sitting doing nothing. I have to say he would be doing himself a great service by getting 2-0 attacks. The Colossus goes down in no time flat, but now it's just Stalkers and Immortals versus all the Hydras, focusing down the Immortal. That's going to go down incredibly quickly. Corruption being spammed all over these Stalkers, so he is going to back up once again into his relatively safe cannon line. Lots of Hydralisks and Corruptors overhead here for MorroW, going to be able to continue moving in. He can spam Corruption on these Immortals and this Phoenix here and Stalkers all day long. Actually, they do have a cooldown, so not all day long, but you can see these Corruptors still taking shots that should be directed at these Roaches and Hydralisks. Socke does have enough units here to be able to fight this off, so MorroW probably should be backing up here. Lots and lots of Stalkers still alive for Socke. We see 2 more Colossi coming in. I don't really understand why he's still building Colossi. Immortals, even if they get corrupted, are a better choice in my opinion at this moment, but Socke is the excellent European Protoss player. I am not. I will refrain from criticizing his Colossi building. Actually, no, I won't. It just still puzzles me. But MorroW is not rebuilding any Corruptors. He doesn't even need to. He's had these same 8 Corruptors in the air the entire game, and he's killed like 9 Colossi with them. The Hydras and the Roaches have been unable to even land hits, and it's all the Corruptors doing all the work, and Socke just cannot kill them off fast enough with what he's got. So he's going to continue warping in Stalkers. He's got a couple of Colossi up, this huge ball of ground units for MorroW, and all these Corruptors still just hanging out, having fun. Back at the income tab just for a second, 76 Harvesters for MorroW, 62 for Socke. Socke still has not taken a 4th base, so MorroW's been ahead in that regard for quite a while. Check out all that Corruptor spit going down on the Colossus. That was actually a corruption spell. Actually, what do they call it? Yeah, corruption. I was going to say contaminate, but that's, you know, old school. Corruptors weren't always this way, I should say, but they're taking extra damage now from the Corruptors, which already do a buttload of damage to these massive units. Let's just take a look at exactly how much it is. 20 damage to massive units, so these Corruptors are totally exposed to those flying Corruptors. He's building 6 more right now. He has not gotten a Greater Spire, so those are all going to be used to just attack Colossi. Socke still sitting at 1-0 upgrades. This is kind of confusing to me too, but both players very good with their spending. Stalker's focusing down Corruptors right now. No, it looks like he's doing a good job focusing on the Roaches, but these Colossi are going to go down before getting too many kills. Only 4 kills on that Colossus before it goes down. And once again, we see MorroW hanging out with a ton of Corruptors, unable to really do anything except spam that spell, which is not the best help in the world. Corruptors now starting to be killed off. Socke can just start killing drones right now if he gets over here fast enough. Yes, he will be able to kill a couple of drones before these Roaches and Hydras show up. Socke needs to really focus on his warp-ins right now rather than his robo facility, because if he can drop a few more warp gates and he can continue this assault every time he gets a little bit of an edge right here, he just is not able to kill off any buildings before MorroW's already back. He's got how many Corruptors here just eating supply? It's kind of interesting. The MorroW's still at 1-0 and he's relying on corruption to do all his damage here. Another Colossus is up. Why would you build a Colossus? Look how many Corruptors he has. He has 15 or something. Actually, I don't know. 12, 13, 14. 14 Corruptors against 1 Colossus. Who wins that fight every single time? It's the Corruptors. But look at army value once again. 198 for MorroW, 113 for Socke. This is just getting worse and worse for this PvZ matchup. 77 Harvesters for MorroW, 62 for Socke. Socke on the ropes right now. He's got a lot of Stalkers and Sentries dropping force fields, but I cannot imagine that this is going to last for too much longer. I'm actually surprised MorroW has not built a hive and started to move up from there, or at least gotten 2-0 weapons for... Oh, he does have 2-0 weapons. When did that happen? I could swear I remarked on that only about 30 seconds ago, but whatever. MorroW taking base number 5 now. He's not going to be able really to mine from this main much longer. His natural is already basically mined out. Socke moves up once again. Corruption being spammed. Colossus doing absolutely nothing and dying instantly to 50 million Corruptors. Immortals on the ground already corrupted. Do they take... Okay, so this unit takes 20% extra damage. Does that mean his hardened shields take 12 damage, or do they still take 10? That's a little bit of trivia for you. I actually am not sure of the answer, so you will not get an answer from me. I think that they will still take 10 damage because of those hardened shields. I don't believe Corruption takes it up to 12 damage, but either way, once those shields are gone, they will melt really fast to the 2-0 Roaches and Hydras that MorroW's got going on here. Socke's still sitting at 1-0. He's had this forge sitting idle forever and ever, but he's been really good on his spending. He just hasn't been too good with his unit allocation and, you know, spending his resources on building the right units. Lots of Roaches and Hydralisks finally mixing it up here a little bit for MorroW. He's been fighting at this tiny little choke, which Zerg really never wants to do. Force fields obviously prevent them from progressing any farther. So MorroW, I like that he's splitting his forces now, forcing Socke to actually respond to more than one area. He could probably crush this whole area right here, this whole base, if it weren't for these 2 little sentries dropping a force field at a time, preventing, you know, his mass army from moving down that thin little ramp. But Socke building Colossi once again. Do you see these Corruptors? They haven't gone anywhere. You haven't killed them. There's still 12 of them, and they're still going to kill your Colossus extremely fast. Here we go once again. Corruption being spammed all over those ground units, and then they move in. 2 little waves of attacks killing off that Colossus. Colossus number 2 going down with only a couple of kills. They do a lot of damage, yes, but they die so incredibly quickly. These Immortals also have 4 kills each. I mean, you might as well continue to invest in those. But Socke, really with not a lot of units left at all. He's at 100 supply against MorroW's 197. Working off of 5 hatcheries, he's going to be able to replenish this army extremely quickly and Socke is just unable to take this 4th base. His main is mined out. I'm sure his natural is all but done. Yes, it is. So if he can't take that base, this game is over, folks. Lots of Corruptors still flying around. Colossi, not what you need to be building, Socke. I cannot believe you're still doing this. Instead of just massing tier 1 and trying to roll over these Hydras and Roaches, get some upgrades rolling. MorroW's been doing it. Get some High Templar. Spam Storms. They're going to be a better option than Colossi right now. However, you've got no money, so at this point it's too late. You've sunk too many minerals into these Colossi. Your units lost tab 28,000 to 24,000 for MorroW. Army value way in MorroW's favor. Army supply count way in MorroW's favor. Income tab kind of ridiculously in MorroW's favor, despite not having too many more workers than you. He's got a much higher mineral and gas income than you, and he's working off of far more bases, so his production capabilities are huge as well. 3 Colossi right here. These Corruptors can kill those 3 Colossi in about 15 seconds with, 2 to 3 volleys for each Colossus. All these Overlords moving now, going to soak a lot of damage. Looks like MorroW's sick of basically playing this game. He's going to break down a lot of destructible rocks here for some reason, so he can have even faster movement over to Socke's 3rd base, or 4th base, I should say. Actually, he's breaking down all of the destructible rocks. I'm a little puzzled by this tactic, but hey, it just frees up the map. He's got creep everywhere already. Why not break down all your destructible rocks? Overlord's moving in now, just getting absolutely destroyed. I'm not sure why he just supply blocked himself, sending those Overlords in a bit early, but, whatever. So MorroW sitting at 2-0 upgrades, getting 1-1. He's getting 1-1 for melee, so this armor will actually help out a lot as well against these 1-0 units here. So let's watch the Colossi die for the 100th time in this game. Lots and lots of Hydralisks here about to destroy everything. They are sitting at 2-0 upgrades, soon to be at 2-1 against only 1-0 Stalkers. So upgrades, unit choice, a couple of little mistakes in the early game. Socke unable to expand when he needs to. Force fields dropped all over the place. Aren't really going to matter. Those Corruptors killed every single Colossus, as you would expect. Actually, there's one more up on the high ground trying to score some kills, but he's going to go down as well. I'll just leave his health there in the bottom, and you can see he died instantly. So lots and lots of Hydralisks still just cruising through these Stalkers and Sentries, and Socke finally GG's in this 29-minute long game. It's been over for about 10 minutes by my estimation, but 24 more Roaches coming in for MorroW here at the end as well. Anyway, extremely entertaining best-of-3 series between these incredible European players, and if you did not know, MorroW actually went on to continue winning all the way up to the finals of this TL Open. He did lose, however, to a very, very good Protoss player by the name of Nightend, and Nightend has been playing in these TL Opens every single week, essentially, taking out a lot of crazy good players like Kiwi Kaki and, of course, MorroW in that TL Open last weekend. So there's one more TL Open for your chance to get into the TSL3. Check out all those details on teamliquid.net. Thank you very much for watching this best-of-3 series between MorroW and Socke. It was a lot of fun to cast. Please don't forget, I'm doing a giveaway right now until March 15th, 2011, where you can win a mousepad signed by Huck. You could win a mousepad signed by Idra. You could win a mousepad signed by Kiwi Kaki, Cats, Drooby, and more. Just check out the giveaway video on my channel, youtube.com/AskJoshy, and subscribe. Leave a comment on whichever video you want to win the prize for, and that's all you have to do. So thanks very much for watching. I'm going to cast some more games right now, so they'll be uploaded shortly after you watch this series. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon. And at least slow down shows advance for this counterattack here. TLO adding on a second factory, still no second barracks. He needs to keep cranking out these Marines here if he's going to have any chance of defending against